Hey everyone, Micah here with Electrek. And this awesome board I've got here today, this is the Backfire Zealot X. It's a really cool board that has an interesting feature that at first I thought was just a bunch of hype, but I've since discovered is actually pretty cool. Come along with us while we check it out. The Backfire Zealot X isn't perfect, and we'll talk about its couple downsides, but it's a really convincing board for someone who wants good speed and power at a decent price, as well as a few other neat tricks thrown in too. But first, let's get the specs and that price out of the way. This is an $1,199 board, which puts it fairly middle range. Yeah, you can get a halfway decent electric longboard for $500 these days, but not with these specs. In back, the Zealot X has a pair of 1500 watt motors for 3 kilowatts of total power. Those motors are belt driving 6358s, and they are torquey. This thing will move, trust me. They're also powered by a fairly high voltage battery with 504 watt hours of capacity for extra range. Something in the 20 to 30 mile range depending on how fast you ride. But the real take-home message on the battery, in addition to its large capacity, is the high voltage. This thing is 14S, which means 58.8 volts hot off the charger. That's a pretty high voltage pack and helps provide the speed and power this board is capable of. Push it hard and you'll slip just past 30 miles an hour, though I tend to keep it in my sweet spot of closer to 20 to 25 miles an hour myself, since that's where the board feels best to me. You see, I was surprised to find that the deck was actually stiffer than I was expecting. It's got multiple layers of glass fiber, maple wood, and ABS plastic, and so it doesn't feel as springy as a typical laminated maple or bamboo deck. It's also not as concave as I was expecting. It rides fine, don't get me wrong, but it'd ride even better in my opinion if it had a bit more spring in the deck to help absorb some road shock and vibration. Especially when you're passing over concrete slab cracks or those foot massagers they put at the end of sidewalks. That's where you'd want that extra deflection in the deck to really soak things up. The smaller 96mm wheels that come on it may be part of that issue too, and they help contribute to that feel. You could load on Backfire's larger 120mm wheels too if you want, which would definitely help improve it when you're hitting those sidewalk cracks or any less than perfectly smooth terrain. But I can forgive this slightly stiff board when you check out the next feature, this awesome LED lighting. Check this out at night. During the day, it's not quite as bright as it is at night, obviously, but it actually still shows up well in the daylight. At night is where it really shines though, no pun intended, and is a huge safety feature in my opinion, since no car driver can claim they didn't see you like this. It just looks pretty darn cool and it's fun too. You can put it in different breathing modes and flashing modes, though I think just riding on a constant cloud of light is the best way to go. The last nice thing about the board that I want to mention is the remote. I'm a fan of Backfire's remotes, which are similar to conventional pistol grip remotes, but they put a nice touch on it. They also have cool features like that fingerprint unlock to keep your roommates from screwing with it, and also the one button wake up so you don't have to bend over to turn on your board. You can just turn it on right from the remote. I gotta say, for $1,199, there's a lot of value here. If you're on a tight budget, I can see skipping this one. You can get by with less speed and power, plus a shorter range battery, and save a bunch of money with more entry-level boards. But if you want all of these features, plus the high capacity and higher voltage battery, not to mention those awesome running lights, then you've got to pony up. And compared to premium boards, $1,200 isn't really that expensive. I don't mean to minimize it, it's a serious chunk of change, but primo boards will charge you more without giving you that much more. So Backfire seems to have struck a nice balance for me. I can't help but ding them on the deck stiffness and the flatness of the board. A little more spring and a little more concavity would have been appreciated, but hey, at $1,199, I still call this a great option. Thanks for watching everyone. We hope you enjoyed that review of the Backfire Zealot X. If you did, why don't you give this video a thumbs up? And don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss any of our future electric vehicle videos. We'll see you here next time.